Hi everybody, this is day 2 of the Advent Calendar 2014 series, and we are making a card today. To start things off, I am cutting down 2 pattern paper sheets to the size I need, and I will use the painting that I did yesterday on that card as well. To give you a heads up, all of the supplies that I used are in the description box below, as well as on the blog for today's card on my webpage, so you can find everything that I used here. I'm starting off with cutting the 12 by 12 inch, which is 30.5 by 30.5 centimeters pattern paper, to the right size, and on the back of that pattern paper I'm marking the size that I need to cut it down to. So I did go 2 centimeters extra for in comparison to the watercolor painting that I did yesterday. So I'm giving it 2 centimeters extra on each side, and I just marked everything down, and I'm using my paper cutter to cut the pattern paper, and that tool actually allows me to cut things quickly and very, very straight, because if you know me, you know that I can't cut things straight with a scissor. Now that I'm done with the first pattern paper, I'm going on to the second. I mark it at exactly the same size as the watercolor paper from yesterday was, because it's going to be a frame that sits on top of the painting. Again, I'm cutting the rough size, and then I am marking the inner parts of the frame that I will cut out, and for that I'm going to use my craft sheet, like a craft mat, and X-Acto knives. I'm not going to use the paper cutter. Now that I'm done, I am putting everything together, looking how it works, and the frame is not perfect. but I will make it work in the end. You can see a bit of the white stuff that I did not color during the painting process yesterday because the tape was there, but it's not too much. It's maybe like 0.5 millimeter or something. So I'm just taking a look how the patterns work together, and I'm very happy with that. So I put my cutting stuff away and I am gluing those 3 pieces together. For that I'm using a standard adhesive tape runner. It's nothing fancy, but it is strong enough to glue together paper pieces or cardstock. So now I've switched to a closer look so that you can see what I do here. This is the set tape adhesive runner. It's perfectly sized. I'm just running the glue on the back of the watercolor paper. And you can see that I lined up the pattern paper that will be underneath the watercolor paper so that I can make sure I glue both pieces together straight and at a great angle. After that I put on the frame. It's the same technique here, adhesive on the back and then gluing everything together. You can see on the lower part of the Holly Berry painting, you can see a bit of the empty white frame that I just set, and I'm going to cover that with some twine that I will wrap around the paper. And to help it stick in place, I glue a strip of adhesive on the back, put the twine on top, and then I wrap it around and tie a bow there. Cutting up the tails, and then I am getting out my cardstock. I chose a dark green for this card, and I'm gluing down all of the paper pieces that I just put together. Afterwards, I'm trying to figure out where to put my sentiment and with which color. And I used the same watercolor paper that I used for the painting. I cut it down to a strip, and then I am giving it a banner by cutting a bit of that paper and making a flag. Afterwards, I get some old scrap paper just as a surface to not have that ink, that chalk ink all over my working area, and I am dabbing on a light green and a light ochre to make the banner, and with a very dark brown I go all around the banner and also stamp my sentiment. So it says Fröhliche Weihnachten, which means Merry Christmas in German. And I'm using the same dark brown ink here. And I'm lining up the banner again to make sure I stamp not at an angle. And I'm also getting out a tiny holly berry, which I find very cute, and I stamp it in the same color on the upper right side of the banner. In the end, I have to cut it, and I was really sad about that, and I kept it, so maybe I use it in another project because I really liked the look of it. But the banner was too long. It for my taste, it covered too much of the hollyberry painting, so I cut that down. And then I'm using double-faced tape and 3D foam squares to adhere that banner to. And you can see that I try to, if it looks nice, to have the hollyberry stamp on the lower part of the cardstock, but it's not working, so I might use it in later projects. And I'm just using the foam squares on the one end of the banner. On the other, I want to have it flat to the card, and I'm just putting it down, trying to stay as straight as possible. And then I'm flicking the tails of the banner upwards a bit to give it a tiny 3D dimension. The final thing I do, I use a dark red glitter pen to go over the holly berries, and add a third one too, and give it like shine. And that finishes off the card for today and closes the second Advent door in the calendar. And I hope you enjoyed and got inspired, and I hope I see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye.